Hi, my name is Tyler, and doing everything by yourself can be annoying. So I decided to bring a partner along. Meet this little lady, Mrs. Mannequin Head. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to light a head, right? We are going to make this room look like a nighttime sequence, but doing it during the day. And we're going to see how we can make this room look interesting. So just follow along with me and I'll show you step by step how I lit this room and what my white balance was, what the temperature of my lights are, and all the little nooks and crannies so you can get an idea of how to make a shot a little bit more interesting maybe. And maybe you learn something out of this, maybe you don't, but here we go. Okay, so let's get started. This is the room with nothing done with it. I have the overhead fan light on and it's set at 5600 Kelvin, 800 ISO. That's the native ISO for the Ronin 4D. And right now it looks fairly disgusting, right? So the first thing we're gonna wanna do if we're gonna try to create this moonlight look is turn off all of the lights. So let's start there. Alrighty, light is turned off. And now we're looking at the image and I'm checking the false color. The window's a little bit bright to me. And I have 2 layers of ND at 0.6 on there, so it's still too bright. So I'm going to basically get some ND on there. Bring it down quite a bit. To the point we kind of like it. Okay, so now we have a window that's pretty darn dark. Okay, so next step would be to light the room, right? So I got 2 lights on a Varipole. It's a Amaran 60X with little soft boxes on it, and they're above the subject behind them, and they're facing the wall to kind of fill in the room a little bit. So we're gonna turn the first one on, right? And we have a little bit of a light in there. And then we will turn on the second one. Right, we have a little bit more light in there. Now our white balance is set to 5600. We're gonna wanna bring that down. People like to bring it down to 3200 or somewhere in between there. I like 4100. So I'm gonna bring this down to 4100. Okay, so now we're at 4100. We're getting that kind of a bluish look. The background is lit, but kind of just enough for me. And now our next step is to add a little bit more interest, right? Maybe a little blue moonlight coming in the back of the head. So I have a 3rd light above the subject, and that is pointing at the back of the head. It's like a 12-inch by 55-inch soft box on the Amaran 200XS, right? So we're gonna turn that light on. Boom, right? So we have a nice little light coming in and going over the top of her mannequin head. Next, we are going to add a little bit more interest, and there's a little lamp beside her, and we're going to turn that on. And I have this set at 100% at 2500 Kelvin, so that's going to be kind of warm for this. Boom. So we're adding a little bit more interest right there. And all the other fixtures that are on right now besides the lamp are at 5600 Kelvin. So just keep that in mind. Alrighty, and next up we are going to add the key light. Boom, key light. There it is. Beautiful looking face. Let's make sure that exposure is where we want it to be. I don't mind that exposure. I like that exposure. And I have this light set at 3600 Kelvin. So I wanted it to be warmer, but I wanted it to match what her actual mannequin head looks like. color-wise. So that's what I did. And I kind of exposed it more than the background just so we can see the subject a little bit more. So we're getting that mood. Now it's looking pretty good. We have that edge light for the lamp. We have her exposed. And then we have the, hair light. And then we have the background exposed also. Now, the next thing is, how can I make this a little bit more interesting? And I have a gobo projector, the nanlite Forza 60C. And I'm basically just going to splash this on the back wall and kind of imitating the window blinds that you see in the background. And the next thing I might do is frame it up slightly different. So instead of being centered, I might push it a little bit more into that thirds. So the subject's kind of looking somewhere and we're still getting a little bit of that window. So we know where that blinds is coming from exactly. Now I'm going to turn that on really quick. Okay, do a little bit of adjustment. Okay. And now we have it, right? We have this almost in the thirds kind of range, like right around here. She's looking towards some direction, and we have those blinds right there. Now, I like this exposure. A lot of things are very dark, but I'm going to be able to push those black offset into DaVinci Resolve, so it'll look a little bit better whenever you're seeing it right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. How to light ahead and make it look awesome. And yeah, you can just buy these online and clamp it to a small light stand and you are good to go. It's great for lighting subjects if you're the only person and you don't want to light yourself constantly. There it is.